Welcome to the New Space Podcast. My name is Ife, and
My name's Jackson.
where we talk about the new space of the music industry from the perspective of the audio engineers and producers that you work with every day. So it's really warm in the studio, right?
A little
Um,
bit.
but I got the HVAC people coming. They're gonna come fix this situation. Today is like 95 degrees, 96 degrees out. Oh, that's not too bad. Look at that. You feel that?
I don't. It's going.
No,
It's going right here.
right past you like a stray bullet.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, um, I got like I have 5 songs to finish before tomorrow. Um, well, actually today because two artists with a total of 5 songs want to release or want to submit to their distributors so that they can release in about 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And the recalls have been crazy, dude.
Mm.
Because all 5 songs feel very different. Um, well, not all of them, but they're different enough to where like recalling is kind of crazy. Thank God for West Audio and 3 devices, 3 pieces not having to get recalled. But the other pieces do. Gain stage is a little bit different on some of them. So I
Just
get.
be grateful we're not on old SSL consoles.
Ugh. Well, I feel like people worked differently back then. Like they knew that whatever they got was what they got, right? There's no going back.
But they would still go through. They still had to. They kept the logs, and they had to do recall at some point.
You get paid for it. Let's be real, bro. Like a lot of producers and engineers now,
Did
we're
you
not
know?
getting paid for recalls like the way we should.
Did you know engineers used to wear lab coats?
Sound mix engineers?
Yeah, sound engineers used to wear lab coats.
Really?
Yeah,
I should get a lab coat from Amazon. It might make me feel like
I actually need to double check that,
yeah,
but I think
make
so.
me feel good about my mixing. Dang, it probably make me lock in a little bit more. Like this is serious, Ife. Like, oh, we gotta talk about my name.
Yeah,
Whenever you
the
finish that,
laboratory-like status of studios of the early 20th century was extended to the dress code expected of its employees, who were required to wear white lab coats. British engineers of that era typically wore white lab coats and faithfully executed procedures developed to record sounds with the greatest possible fidelity. That's pretty cool. Like little
that's pretty cool.
scientists.
Yeah, I mean that's just the British though, man. They're always uptight about everything. I love all my British people. My aunt lives in
But that's
Sutton,
where like isn't that where Studio World boomed with
and she's a great cook.
like Abbey Road Studios, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of this gear that we love is from there, like Neve. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know
Rupert.
he moved to Texas.
Rupert?
Rupert, well, rest in peace. He passed away, but he moved to Texas, like 200 miles from here, like 100 miles from here.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's where Neve was, the lab was before he passed away. It was in Texas.
Well, that's good to know. Now I need to buy some Neve.
If that's your reason for buying Neve, then you're part of the you're one of the people we're going to be talking about today.
I'm not.
All right,
What's today's episode about, E. Fedrick?
today's episode is about the wildest myths in music production. Busted.
Wow.
Yeah. We're gonna
We're
be
like
talking
the
about
Mythbusters now.
yeah, Mythbusters. Mythbusters. I love that show too.
I'm excited. Yeah, that show was always just takes me back, reminds me of childhood.
Yeah, well, not quite childhood for me. It was kind of like my long white tee era. I was in my
Ooh.
long white tee era. Yep,
Watching
in my white
Mythbusters.
tee. Yep. Yeah. Um, but yeah, we're gonna be talking about some wild myths. We're just gonna be having fun today, talking about some of this stuff, right? So you just said that you buy gear from Neve because they're in Texas. I know you're joking, but I promise you, there's gonna be like 1, 2, 3, or 10 people out there, producers or engineers, They might just buy a piece from Neve just because you know he was in the U.S. of A. or in Texas or whatever the case might be. Is
Yeah.
that is that is that does that compute
Well,
for you?
I mean, like, what if there's an aspect of just like collector mentality behind it? Like, I want to collect gear, and this is a sought after name. It's like like holding a little celebrity.
Here's the thing about collecting stuff. The way I see it, people collect coins, they collect stamps, they collect whatever
Pokemon
art,
cards.
right? Right. All these things have there's something about them. They look good. Well, gear looks good though. Let's I don't know. I can't knock anybody for collecting gear, but the essence of gear is what it sounds like. That's what it should be, right? Like Golly EQs from Denmark, they're beautiful. Like they're yellow and red and green, and they're nice, but they sound great. You know,
Yeah.
if anybody's collecting gear because of how they look,
Just kidding.
you're not collecting it.
I
You're working
consider
with
it like
it.
I like when it looks cool. Like
Yeah,
I like when it looks like the Carnaby EQ. A
yeah, that thing
big
looks
thing
sick.
about it is like, I mean,
It looks crazy.
it's gonna
It
help my
looks
marketing
good.
too.
No,
And I like how it
on the
sounds.
other hand, my louder than lift off silver bullet is grotesque. No, I know it looks terrible. It's ugly. We're gonna put a shot of a silver bullet right here, and then we're gonna put a shot of a SSL fusion over there, right by you. Yeah,
Oh,
they yeah. I feel like
yes.
the silver bullet looks like a module from Star Trek, from like the early Star Trek.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It looks pretty bad.
Dang, dude.
That Moog behind you is one of the most beautiful pieces that I have.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it
I
sounds
like
amazing too.
I like the tube tech. Really, just because it's tube tech, like it's
That
kind of
blue is just
yeah.
like that's Tube Tech blue. You know how like in shoes you got the Jordans, you got the North Carolina blue, you got Tube Tech blue.
Yes,
You know what I'm
sir.
saying?
Yeah, heck yeah, bro.
And then API looks good. Neve looks
Oh,
cool.
API always looks good.
I think West Audio is sexy, bro.
It looks good.
Oh my god, you don't think it looks good? What was
No,
that?
it looks good, but it's missing like a signature like potentness. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like API, you could just throw one of those knobs. I could recognize all those by the knobs, but the West Audio one, the only way I would recognize the knobs is because they don't have the little like a little tick on it.
Yeah, they don't have a signature. Like, look at the 542 and the MBP. The knobs are essentially the same, different sizes, but those are Neve knobs.
Exactly.
Same knobs on the Shelfords, same knobs on their satellite summing mixers, right?
Yeah.
But I love what West Audio is doing. Now we're moving over to analog gear aesthetics.
Hang on, I gotta see what an SSL Fusion looks like. Dude,
Yeah, it looks good.
that thing is actually like it. It's the best thing ever.
I used to have LA 610, Universal Audio LA 610
Yeah.
with the big black knobs,
Yeah.
like oversized knobs.
Yeah.
I thought that thing was beautiful, like classic, classy, beautiful.
Yeah.
And it came from those old UA 610 consoles. Those things are majestic, man. I love them.
Serve it to me on a gold plate.
Yeah.
Oh man, I just love gear so much. So much.
So the most important question right now, is it worth it?
Yes. Then we wouldn't buy it.
Why is it worth it?
It's a really nice sounding plugin.
Wait, a analog piece of hardware is a nice sounding plugin?
It's being used as a plugin?
Okay, so why not just buy a nice plugin for $300 instead of a Fusion
Because
for
they all
$2,400?
we've actually found out the truth. Remember, you sent me some video about compression, how like digital compression is all doing the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So all these variations that are claiming to have different tones and characteristics are just, I'm sure they can add tone in, but that's a separate like, I don't know, zeros and ones. I like to know. It's also a comfortability factor that like I like to know that there's analog, like I've got a box this big processing my song.
Okay, let's be real. I'm gonna jump over to another side of it, right? Money, right? There are lots of people who have beautiful minds who can create great ideas in their heads, right? They understand how compressors work from their DAW's compressor. They understand how EQ work from the EQ from the DAW's EQ, right? And for one reason or the other, they cannot afford a Fusion, OS Audio, or whatever else is out
Mm-hmm.
there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that their dreams are busted and they can't make great records?
No, no.
So if that's the case, if they can make great records with whatever, why don't we take, our Fusion money and our West Audio money and our SSL money and our Neve money and like invest it in the stock market and just use plugins that
Mm.
cost, a quarter of the price? Because let's be real, you know, we're gonna keep it real, right? The stock market's chances of a return for you are way better than what that gear can do for you in your studio for the most part. Whether it's with clientele or you making a hit record for yourself that's going to make you boatloads of money.
You know, I could not do in the box what my Fusion does.
You can't.
No,
I think a lot of people disagree with you.
not with the workflow, with how fast it happens, with
Okay.
my ability to like I just can't do. I'm not saying I can't get the exact same sound, which I don't think I actually could. If I literally, because you know how it's the vintage drive, the high frequency compressor, Violet EQ, they have plugins for all those. You think if I lined up all those plugins in the exact same order that is on the SSL Fusion and set them to the exact same settings, do you think it would sound the same?
It wouldn't sound the same, but would it sound better?
No.
So what does it matter if it's not better? If it's just different?
I'm having a hard time following that statement there.
Well, you said that analog and digital sound different, right?
Mm-hmm.
They sound different. And I asked you, they sound different, but is one better than the other? You said no.
No, no, no. I meant to say I'd rather have a physical hardware piece of a plugin. I'm not saying like this is a 5% difference. I don't think it's some crazy I don't know, dude. I think the Fusion is pretty life changing. But it's like a small incremental difference.
Okay.
Like I still mix things all in the box and I'm extremely happy with the results. I think I
Yeah.
could continue on with my career in the box and have still
No
have
problem.
success.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing that you need analog gear. I'm arguing that I really like to have it and I'm trying to defend my reasons for really liking to have it.
I'm playing devil's
Ife
advocate.
obviously hates analog
Yeah, I
gear.
mean, obviously you can tell. I'm playing devil's advocate, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If if only one engineer in the entire world had analog gear, right? Would he be the most sought after engineer in the world?
Does he have all the analog gear?
Anything he wants, right? And everybody else is on software. Would he be extremely sought after, and like his mixer would be like $500,000 a song, kind of thing? Is that what would happen? Or would people be like, we don't need that. We got somebody else with all the skills that like Saban, for instance. You know Saban, right? I can't remember his first name. I'm drawing a blank right now. Saban is regarded as the best engineer in the world.
Really?
Yeah, look him up.
I've
Look him up.
never heard of him.
Yeah, Something Saban. Can't remember.
Maybe I have. I don't.
I can't remember his first name right now.
Let me see.
But he's mixed like literally all the big pop records, and he works very closely with Max Martin, who writes all the biggest records or whatever. Saban audio engineer, look him up.
Sabin.
Yeah, Saban. Am I saying that right? You're making me feel weird.
Cause I have no idea what you're talking about.
Serban Ganea. Serban Ganea.
How do you spell his first name?
Serban is Serban. Yeah. Serban Ganea is regarded as like, and he's in the box apparently.
All.
He says he's all in the box. I don't personally
I
believe him.
guarantee you. Is he mastering it too? He probably's.
No, he's mixing.
I'm sure the mastering engineer is using some
No,
gear,
definitely.
and that's like a lot of the sauce of analog is on the mix bus too.
I think not necessarily. I believe in the 2-3 principle when it comes to the life cycle or the supply chain, if you will, of your songs. Right? You have your recording, you have your mixing, and you got your mastering. Stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. If you hit analog hardware on 2 out of 3 stages, you're good. Doesn't matter which one. Right? Preferably keeping analog on the recording side of things, right? Makes life easier and smoother and sounds better overall. I believe that wholeheartedly. So if you can get um, some analog going when you're recording, so instead of using like a microphone to go directly into like an interface, you have an actual preamp, maybe a little bit of EQ, a little bit of compression, um, with some tubes going in, that'd be amazing. Or a mic with tubes in it, that'd be awesome. And then if your mixing stage is completely in the box, that's fine. And then mastering is analog, deal. Like, awesome. I think there will be nobody missing anything.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in the box for all 3 stages, I do wholeheartedly believe it's going to sound very clinical, very like sterile and uninspiring. I
Yeah.
really do. And some people might think that, oh, hey, I didn't do that. It sounds great. Well, what did your samples come from? If you use samples in there, and the drum samples and the snare went through tape saturation, and it went through this compressor or that EQ or this tube device or this color box, then no, you're analog as well.
Valid.
Yeah.
Dang. Just came to even like, um, yeah, even like on like something like Sky Keys.
Mm-hmm.
All of those are for sure processed
Yeah.
through analog gear.
Sounds amazing. I love that little plug-in. It's like $20,
25.
25. It's my go-to. Like it's Keyscape when I'm doing key stuff. It's Keyscape and Sky Keys out the box. Like when I just want to like lay down my initial ideas,
Yeah.
and 7 out of 10 times I'm keeping it. Yeah.
Valid, bro. Fire valid stuff. So what's the next myth, Ife?
But
What could it be?
before we go to the next one, right? Why do you think people think analog sounds warmer than whatever?
Transformers, tubes, transistors.
No, because in the 70s, when they used to record, a bunch of stuff with analog gear, they had no air conditioning in the studio, so it was really warm.
Oh man, that dude.
Oh,
Wow. Yeah, that dude. You came up with that so smooth.
that's terrible. That was a bad studio dad joke. Oh my gosh. All right, the next one.
Fire.
The next one. Autotune is only for bad singers.
No.
Have you ever been in a session and the artist says, "I don't want any autotune." I have, by the way, but
Not really. Not unless it's a rapper. Oh wait, no, I have.
with a rapper,
No, with like a singer.
and then they want autotune.
Yeah.
Were they good?
Yeah, but even the best use that little just like push forward
Mm-hmm.
just to really push you into the notes. And it sounds good. It sounds cool. Like I don't know, when you really lock in those notes. I don't know, it just sounds nice and everything. Something about it, it changes. I don't know how to explain it. It makes things tighter going into everything else.
I've never listened to. Y'all forgive me. I've never listened to a singer that told me to do that. I'll tell them, okay, sure, no problem. But then what I do, I'll still use autotune, but make sure it sounds as natural as possible. So I'm using the humanize feature. I'm turning the speed down, like that type of stuff to make sure that there's no like like switching notes really fast or that type of stuff.
Hmm.
But you can't compete in 2024, 2025, 2026
Without auto tune.
without autotune.
Yeah.
You can't compete.
I'm not enjoying it in live performances when they're really cranking it. Like someone like I noticed like Machine
Yeah,
Gun Kelly and Kid Leroy, I noticed they like crank it in their concerts. He's like they can hit the notes pretty well. So why are
yeah.
they going all the way the extreme
Can
with
I
it?
tell you why? Because they got to do it every night when they're on tour. It gets hard.
But just a
Your voice is
little
getting a beat.
flex, a little bit. Not the,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Just a little bit.
I went to go see Lil Yachty one time, Lil Boat, Big Boat, and I swear, like, he dropped something and he goes, "Oh," and he goes, "Oh." It was so funny. I'm like,
Yeah.
y'all need to
Have you seen that
chill
clip where
with the auto tune.
Travis Scott's auto tune cuts off?
I haven't seen
Oh, it's
that.
so funny. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's real, but it's hilarious sounding.
Does
I
Lil Yachty
mean,
still do call himself Lil Boat?
I think so.
Oh, anyway.
Oh.
But yeah, that was really funny, and yeah, that's aggressive. But I did go to Tim's concert, and I think they used some auto tune because she did not miss anything.
Hmm.
She did not miss.
Yeah.
Now, is it possible that the whole show she didn't miss? Yeah, but I think that they used a little something, and I appreciated it. I thought it was nice. I think auto tune is here to stay. T Pain made it popular, and we thank T Pain. We thank you for that. But um, it's here to stay. And honestly, I feel like autotune is like AI.
It's just it's just becoming a
It's
part,
just it's just a
whether you
part
like
of,
it or
yeah,
not.
whether you like it or not.
But but then you got the whole side of it where it's just like a T Pain uses it as an effect. Like that dude can sing like crazy.
Yeah, it's like AI. If you're a great songwriter, AI can help you be a better writer. You know what I'm saying? If and so on and so forth. There's so many other things. But bad singers. Remember JJ Fish?
Yep.
He had autotune.
Ice JJ
Ice
Fish.
JJ Fish.
He turned into like a super Christian too.
Oh really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I
He
didn't know
started dropping.
that.
I think he's still dropping gospel music.
No way. I
Yeah,
gotta look it up.
yeah.
Is it good?
No,
No.
terrible.
No, I didn't think so.
That,
That
I can't
sucks.
imagine blowing. Do people not understand that whenever they drop like a little mini music video on Instagram or something and it gets shared, the ratio of like sharing number is like 50 times higher than the likes and comments. That's a sign that people are like laughing at you, sharing it to all their friends. I'm
That's
always wondering if
terrible.
people notice that.
Honestly, I'd rather just have low numbers of people that respect me than a lot of numbers of people that are laughing at me.
Me too.
Yeah.
There's just no. I
That's
just don't want
sad
to
but
plant
true.
that in my head. Like I don't need publicity that much to like put myself out there. You're essentially walking down the boulevard butt naked, asking for it.
Next one. You ready for the next one? More tracks mean a better song.
Means a more challenging song.
But does it mean a better song? So is it what's
No.
is that myth? Is that myth busted? Done? Gone? Okay, so check this out. I think about that, and I think about bands or groups or whatever, like um, Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. It's a bass player, a guitar player, and a drummer.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, and it sounds like an orchestra.
Yeah.
Sounds like a wall of sound coming at you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
To me, that's the ultimate proof that no, it is not about more tracks. I feel like more tracks, typically, not all the time, sound more artificial, fake. But then some people might argue, what about orchestras? It's like 88 people playing in an orchestra, right? But if you really think about it,
It's like stems. It's like groups of
yeah,
instruments. So like one instrument, two
yeah.
instrument. There's
You
maybe
got
like
six, seven, 8 guys playing the exact same thing. So
mm,
it's really one thing, right? And then if you take a string section, what sections? You got strings, woodwind, brass, percussion, and what am I missing?
strings, wood, brass, percussion. That's it.
Is that it? Because you got violin, viola, cello, bass. That's your string section.
Uh huh.
Then you got oboes, uh,
Saxophone, clarinet,
saxophone, clarinet,
flute.
flute, piccolo at the
Yeah.
top, and then you have
Uh, French horn,
French horn,
trumpet,
trumpet, trombone,
tuba,
tuba.
trombone.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. And percussion.
What's that mini tuba called?
French horn.
No, there's a
No.
mini tuba that sits vertically.
Oh yeah, yeah, I can see it. I can't think of what it's called right now.
French horns were always so annoying. They always sat right behind me.
What you play? Saxophone. I
Saxophone.
knew that. I knew that.
Yeah. The French horns were so annoying. They'd always be like, they'd
What's
have
your
that.
What's your favorite instrument in the orchestra?
I think the saxophone.
Saxophone.
I think it's has the most swag and the most potential
Oh, okay.
in the
Can I
orchestra.
tell you something? One of my best friends is a saxophone player, right? And he's a dope saxophone player.
Yeah.
But I hate the saxophone because they're saxophone players come off as very egotistical. Like they'll do albums and they'll have their saxophone and go like
Yeah.
this with it or whatever, and it's just like, what are you doing? Or like there was an era. There was an era. I think the era is over. In Nigeria, where a lot of artists were coming out and they'll just be like their name and then put sax behind it. I love all of you, by the way. I'm just this is my personal whatever. But they'll like it could be like my name's Ife, like Ife Sax, Jackson Sax. You know what I'm saying? Jeff Sax. That's their artist name.
You seem like an oboe kind of guy.
Oh well, no, I'm a flugelhorn guy.
What?
Flugel,
What is that?
flugel.
Flugel?
It's like a trumpet, but it's warmer. Because it was in the 70s. It came out in the 70s. It was really hot when they made it. It was really warm.
They cut that sucker out by the time I got in there.
Yeah,
They
flugel's
were
my
like, this
favorite
ain't gonna
horn.
make it.
Flugel, and I like trumpet too.
What the heck? What
Yeah,
is
that's a
this
flugel. Yeah,
ancient artifact?
it sounds amazing. You know what? I'll play some flugel for you.
If you think
later.
that's got the most swag in the whole orchestra,
I
you
think
got issues.
we're not talking about swag. I was talking about sound. You picked saxophone because of swag.
I think the tenor sax sounds the best.
I think so too.
I do think the French horn sounds really cool. But
French
they
horn is
were
really
always
nice,
I would always get
especially in
so
group, especially
grossed
in
out.
an ensemble.
I
They
would always
sound
get
really
so
good.
grossed out. They pull that little pipe out of the bottom every
Mhm.
5 seconds, and their spit just like pours out. I'm like, dude, this is not okay. That makes me want to throw up thinking about it.
Yeah.
I used to be so.
I'll say one more thing about more tracks in a song. I produced a song one time, and I couldn't get. I loved the song. It was very close to me, but I couldn't get it to sound right. I was like, "What is this nonsense?" Like, it was sounding good, but it didn't sound good. And then I created a duplicate of the session, and I just started stripping it. And the more I stripped, the better it started to sound. And I kept stripping, and I remember I kept everything. I deactivated all those tracks, and I put it away. I deactivated about 60% of the tracks in the song,
Mm-hmm.
and it sounded just as big. It sounded clearer. It sounded better. The mix was cutting through much better. It was amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's interesting.
So that's my experience. If you've had the same experience, please put it
They're
in the comments.
100% more fun to mix. 100%. And I always end up more satisfied with the end result because I just get a louder, punchier, clear,
Hmm.
thicker, fuller, juicier, creamier, crustier, sizzlier
Jeff, what
mix.
time is it? I think this man's hungry. We need to feed him.
I am hungry. 12:45.
Yeah, you're hungry, dude.
Oh, comer. Literally.
Like, right? That's the first time he used it in the right way.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
man, that's funny.
yeah.
Little inside joke there. Should I talk about it, or we gonna cut this out?
Yeah, you can talk about it.
So, we have this thing, Jeff, Jackson, and I. I don't know who started. You started it,
Yeah.
and something happened, and he just kind of like just went like, "Oh, comer," and I'm like, "Okay, I know that's Spanish, but you know." And then like Jeff, our resident, Spanish speaking, human. I'm like, "What does that mean?" It's like it means eat. I'm like, okay, that makes no sense in what we're talking about right now. But then it kind of caught on. It was me, you, Neola, and Jeff, and we just kept going, comer. Like we could be talking about, oh man, I'm about to be late for this meeting. Oh, comer. We started doing that, and it's
It
kind of
just
stuck.
sounds right.
It sounds
It
right.
sounds like it
And
should
then
be
right
there.
now you said it, and then it actually made sense because you're hungry, you want to go eat.
Yeah.
That's funny. Um,
Amen. Woo!
comer.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm off today. Brain fog. I think Jeff got me sick. Let's do this. What's the next myth, Ife?
you can fix it in the mix.
True. All right, guys. This has been the New Space Podcast. Thank you for watching. Later.
No, you can't.
Oh, man.
Can you fix it in the mix? Legit.
Depends. Like, if it's a bad recording, nasty, like air conditioning, nasty stuff. Like, if the information, and if it's just a bad quality sound, like if the information's not there,
Hmm.
you can't make information from no. It's like the idea that the universe was created from nothing by nothing
Hmm.
for nothing. It's impossible.
I mean, the good old saying, you can't polish a turd, bro. You know what I'm saying? I really do believe that you got to capture it at the source. You got to capture good sounds from the very beginning. And I used to not necessarily believe it until I was caught up in that, where I was like, I had I was caught with a bunch of bad recordings, trying to make them sound good, and was always only semi successful. And then whenever I got good recordings, it was like always like a hole in one, just like
Hmm.
smash. You know,
Yeah.
if you haven't really been in a situation where you're getting bad recordings, I'm really happy for you, and that's great. Keep going. If you always getting bad recordings and you've never experienced getting good quality recordings from the beginning, man, just
Tell your
try it.
clients first thing, demand that they go into a closet with the
I
recordings.
don't know about that, bro.
Just get them anywhere other than a big open room.
Bro, I would rather you take a big old blanket and put it over your head than go
How
in
is
the
that any
closet
different than a
sometimes.
closet?
No, because some closets have this resonance. It's just
Oh,
like
I always say
terrible.
a closet with a bunch of clothes.
There you
I
go.
always say that.
Yeah, you didn't say that just now.
Well, I could prove it to you if we went in my DMs.
You didn't say it to the audience.
I'm so sorry, everybody. Quick trick though, if you're trying to mix some disgustingly, terribly recorded vocals, just throw RC20 on it and make it sound intentional. Thanks.
Oh man. Okay, so that myth is busted. Maybe what we'll do like a lab video, right, or demo video, or where we take different environments and try to make a bad recording and try to make it sound good.
We're gonna make it sound good.
We're gonna make it sound good, but then we're gonna take a similar performance in, like, say, the booth right here, and make it sound good, and then compare the two.
Okay. That
Yeah.
sounds fun.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. That's the last one. That was a lot of fun.
That was the last one?
That was the last one.
I got one real
You
quick.
got one?
I do.
But
Just
while you're doing that, I didn't do an intro, so I'm gonna do it right now. Just flip it back to the top.
next myth, last myth, worst myth. Good music will find its audience on its own.
Heck no,
Yep, that's it.
bro. In this day and age, in this new space of the music industry, where there are over 100,000 songs being released every day, like I think that's even being partial or generous or whatever.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way. If you're not marketing, if you're not promoting, if you're not getting out there, man, it's just not gonna happen, dude. And even if it does, somebody went out of their way to make it happen for you. That's what I think. That's what I've seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't just drop a fire song on Spotify. It literally will get 0 listens
Yeah.
forever. It's not like YouTube where you post a video and it'll you'll get views. That's what's cool about YouTube is you can just rack up subscribers.
I know we talked about this before, but I remember is it more than half of songs on Spotify don't have a single listen? Like 0.
Something crazy like that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So don't do your music any disservice by thinking that because it's good, it's going to get out there. Psh, it's like trying to wink at a cute girl in the dark, bro.
Put him on that game.
Yeah, she's not gonna give you her number. She don't even know where you are.
That's right.
You know?
Come here.
Come here.